How's it going, guys? And I know this is a bit of a different setting because you can actually see me for once, but I hope you guys are having a nice day today. And just before the Shattered Veil comes out tomorrow, as I am recording this, I thought we would take the chance to go through all of the Call of Duty Treyarch maps that have been out so far and essentially determine if they are worth paying the money still to play. Because I know there's a lot of people in the community but are still not 100% sure on certain maps, going, I've never tried this one before, should I try this one, and whatnot. And so today we are answering that question. Now, we've got 4 main tier lists here. We've got Shut Up and Take My Money, we've got It's Worth the Experience, we've got Give It a Go, see if you like it, and then we've got Do Not Ever Touch It. The first map we've got is COD der Toten. Now, as you might have seen recently, I played COD der Toten on World at War, and it was an interesting experience. It was for an interesting experience. It's definitely more of a nitty-gritty zombie survival rather than anything else. I would say it is worth the experience of trying COD der Toten. Verrückt almost is exactly the same thing here. Once again, when you look at the World at War version and even the BO1 version, the scariness of the map, the intensity, the Verrückt sprinters, these are elements in zombies that really cause an imbalance to the play, and it's something you don't ever really expect. So once again, it's not Shut Up and Take My Money quality, but it is worth the experience. I think it's worth the go to give it to. Kino Numa is a little bit of a different one. I think World at War's version wasn't very good. I actually think Vanguard's Zombies version of it, believe it or not, actually made it a lot better. And overall, it's a very mid map in my opinion. I'm gonna put this on Give It a Go. It's not Don't Ever Touch It kind of quality, but I'd say if you want the chance to just see what it's like, give it a go, but you're probably not going to play it beyond that. Next, we are going to Der Riese. Now, Der Riese is absolutely loved by a lot of people. In my opinion, it got really good in BO1 and the Giant with the some innovations there, but it was also very good on World at War as well. Now, assuming all of these DLCs cost the same amount of money, so about 15 bucks each. So for example, Der Riese would cost 15 bucks. Revelation costs 15 bucks, like Dead of the Night costs 15 bucks because it's a DLC. I would probably say in Der Riese is in the top area of worth the experience. I wouldn't quite say it's Shut Up and Take My Money kind of experience in terms of paying for the DLC and seeing if it's still worth it, because I do think you'd get bored of it quite quickly. But it is an elite worth the experience. Now we are going to move on to Kino der Toten. Is it worth buying Black Ops 1 to try? And this is the first map, in my opinion, that is absolutely Shut Up and Take My Money. You really can't go wrong with Kino. You've got the Thunder Gun, and it's a very good map. As you saw with the M14 versus Olympia video, there's a lot of different replayability that you can try with it. I think it's still a decent map. This is the first map, though, that in my opinion, is Shut Up and Take My Money. Next, we have 5. Now, 5 is very conflicting in terms of opinions. Some people love it, some people hate it. In my opinion, I'm very mixed about it. I won't really outright decide I want to go and play 5, but overall, it's not a Don't Ever Touch It map. It's a Give It a Go map. It's if you have Black Ops 1, or if you're thinking about copying Black Ops 1 to play Kino der Toten, you know, and if you want to try give 5 a go, yeah, give it a go. Next up, we have Ascension. Ascension, it's a difficult one. I wouldn't say it's Shut Up and Take My Money, and I wouldn't quite say it's worth the experience. I know that might piss off a lot of new Zombies fans or older gen zombie fans because they absolutely love Ascension. Overall, I put it in the middle of Give It a Go so far. Call of the Dead, once again, I'm going to put it at the bottom of worth the experience. I think it's not as good as the likes of Der Riese, COD der Toten, or Verrückt, but I think it's a very unique map, and having its unique cast and George being the boss on Call of the Dead, I think it is worth that experience alone. So if you're looking to try out Call of the Dead, go for it. Why not? Next up, we have Shangri-La. Now, Shangri-La, once again, was a map that got better in BO3 with Zombies Chronicles, in my opinion. And it's a very difficult map in BO1, but it's so unique in terms of the setting and the environment of the map. It's a difficult one. For me, it's probably going to be on the top of Give It a Go, maybe bottom of worth the experience. It's an experience in itself, trying out this map and, you know, just seeing what it's really like. Then we move on to Moon. Now, Moon is, in my opinion, a map that got significantly better with the BO3 Zombies Chronicles. And I know, once again, we're not taking the newer versions into account. However, this is because it's going to show an argument as to how bad Moon was on BO1. In my opinion, Moon on Black Ops 1, I think a lot of people might have it at the top of worth the experience, or Shut Up and Take My Money. To me, it's gonna beat Call of the Dead in terms of worth the experience, but not the other ones. Next up, we move on to Transit. And Transit, it's one of two opinions. If you're playing by yourself, you're gonna hate it. If you're playing with friends, you're gonna have a lot of fun. I think, therefore, that's why we are going to give it a worth the experience, just beating Call of the Dead there, but not as good as Moon. Next up, we've got the trio of maps. We've got Bus Depot, Farm, and Town. Bus Depot, in my opinion, I wouldn't ever touch it. And I know that might sound a little bit harsh, but you've got no Pack-a-Punch. You've got just the mystery box in that sense, which, okay, is a positive, but you've got no perks as well. It's, once again, very much an old school, try and see how long you can survive kind of map, but in my opinion, I don't think it's worth putting your money towards. Next up, we have Farm. Farm, for me, is once again something that's very similar to Don't Ever Touch It. I'm going to put it at the very bottom of Give It a Go, purely because there are perks on it. And then lastly, we have Town. And Town actually is well above the other two. You've got perks, you've got Pack-a-Punch, and you've got the mystery box. In my opinion, it's worth the experience. It's better than the original Transit. I wouldn't quite have it on the likes of Moon and whatnot, but it is definitely worth the experience. Then we're moving on to Nuketown Zombies. This is going to be a controversial opinion, but once again, I think this is very much a worth the experience. The only reason why I'm calling it a Shut Up and Take My Money is because it was $5. So it was significantly cheaper than the other DLCs. And for what you were getting, it's a challenging map and it's got a lot of replayability to it. It's right next to Doris in terms of worth the experience, just for the sake of the price itself and what you're really getting in terms of the uniqueness of the challenge. Next, we move out to Die Rise. I think it is one of those maps that, once again, falls into Give It a Go, but quite low on the scale of Don't Ever Touch It. It's got a lot of problems in terms of its vertical positioning and vertigo and whatnot, and the fact that, you know, everything's in elevators. And in my opinion, I will put it just under 5 in terms of Give It a Go. Next, we have Mob of the Dead. Now, Mob of the Dead, for me, I personally find it a bit overrated, but it's such an incredible experience still. You know, even if you struggle to do well on 2-hit zombies maps, kind of like myself a little bit, or at least very narrow 2-hit zombies maps, in my opinion, it is a shut up and take my money. It's a shut up and take my money for the experience itself, playing on Alcatraz, building the plane, and even just playing with your friends and trying to do the Easter egg. Next up, we have Buried. Buried, in my opinion, is overrated, and that is in terms of the quality. It's not a good map, in my opinion, but I think the map overall is really bang average, and, you know, having Leroy the Giant being quite unreliable in terms of directing him a lot of the time, you're kind of relying on him to do well, and it's just got a lot of weird functions on the map. I don't really like it. In my opinion, it is going to be very low, just above the Die Rise of Give It a Go. Origins, once again, is falling in a shut up and take my money. It's such an incredible experience, having the 4 staffs that you can recreate. It is definitely one that, if you want to try as a zombies player, and if you haven't done it before, you absolutely need to. Shadows of Evil. Now, in my opinion, Shadows of Evil is once again a shut up and take my money. These 3 maps are absolute bangers. In my opinion, Shadows of Evil for me is absolutely elite. Now, it did have a very rocky start, but once you get used to the mechanics, trust me, you're going to have a great time. The Giant. Now, once again, this is you gotta factor the $5 count into this. It's definitely an easier experience than Doris, and I think part of what made Doris really unique was the challenging element of it as well. I'm going to have it as one of the higher maps of worth the experience, just above Kino der Toten. I think it's worth it for the $5, absolutely. Next up, the Drache, the best zombies map of all time, in my opinion. If you haven't tried this map or played this map or even done the Easter egg on this map, do it. It is 100% a shut up and take my money. Zetsubo no Shima, in my opinion, a very underrated map, although I do have to admit, the wonder weapon steps can be a little long and tedious. It is definitely a map that's worth the experience, and I wouldn't say it's a shut up and take my money, but I'd probably have it as the top of worth the experience so far. Gora Krovi falls very similarly to Zetsubo no Shima here. Worth the experience, absolutely. It's not shut up and take my money quality, to be honest, especially with that Easter egg. It is 100% worth the experience, and I'll just have it under Doris for this. This is going to be definitely a very controversial opinion, but Revelations, in my opinion, is a shut up and take my money map. It is purely a sandbox of fun. It is so enjoyable that you have so many different wonder weapons. The visual aesthetics of the map and how the map was designed is beautiful. It's definitely a map that you can play and have fun with. And once again, there are so many different ways to replay it. Then we move on to Black Ops 4 9. Now 9 for me, it's not a shut up and take my money map, but in my opinion 9, it's a map that is worth the experience, but I'd probably say middle of the line when it comes to worth the experience. Voyage of Despair. I don't want to put it in don't ever touch it because it sounds a little bit harsh, but I'm going to have it at the very bottom of give it a go. You know, and I know it's set upon the Titanic, which is the only reason why it is on give it a go. Blood of the Dead. Now this is obviously Mob of the Dead's little brother. A lot of people don't like this map, but some people think it's a bit underrated. I am one of those people, but I think it's underrated. And I think personally the BO4 engine and the perk system once again kind of lets it down. The Easter egg though is just a complete nightmare and a complete mess. If you haven't played Mob of the Dead, sorry, I would put Blood of the Dead towards the bottom of worth the experience. Then we are moving on to Classified. So this is an improved version of 5. And in my opinion, Classified is better than 5 in terms of its ranking, but I wouldn't put it significantly higher. I think Classified is still a better run experience than 5. It's definitely easier than that for sure, and I think that's why it is a little bit better in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that easy maps just automatically mean they're good maps, but I think when you're taking into account the design of the map in account to the old school engine of the 2-hit system and whatnot, you're gonna have players get frustrated a lot easier when they feel like they're going down a bit more unfairly. Dead of the Night, and I'm sorry, I don't get why people rate this map. It's not a good map. It's not don't ever touch it kind of quality. I'm putting it below the Voyage of Despair in terms of give it a go. If you want to try it, give it a go, but I think it's a really bad map. Next up, we have Ancient Evil. Ancient Evil is a good map and it's very unique, and I do think it is worth the experience, but I don't think it's as good as people make it out to be. I think it's above Blood of the Dead and possibly Town for that, and actually possibly above 9 as well. But I don't think it's in the elite tiers of worth the experience or shut up and take my money. You know, for 15 bucks, yes, it's a decent map in that respect. I think once again, just BO4 as a system lets it down. Next, we have Alpha Omega, and I'm sorry, but this is going into don't ever touch it. This map is awful. It's a bad map. It's a bad map. Plus with how the map overall is designed and how closely quartered it is, and you know, yes, you can train and you can have a bit of a narrow situation as well, but in my opinion, it's nowhere near as balanced as a map should be. And I think overall, Nuketown Zombies does a much better job of, well, Nuketown Zombies. Lastly, of BO4, we have Tag the Toten, and I'm sorry, once again, this is falling into a don't ever touch it. I know this is probably a very unpopular opinion. Once again, it's just one of the BO4 maps I've barely played because I just have no motivation to play the map. You know, at least for Classified, I could kind of encourage myself to play it. Buried the same, Dead of the Night the same, Voyage of Despair the same. But for Tag the Toten and Alpha Omega, I have no motivation to play those maps because they are poorly designed maps. Next up, we have D Machina, the return to old school style zombies a little bit with Cold War zombies. And this is a map that is, in my opinion, a give it a go experience. Actually, you know what? No, I'd have it a bit higher. I'd have it on the lower tiers of worth the experience. You know, the DIE Shockwave, whatever it was called, that was a decent wonder weapon overall. And the fact that the ray gun got a really big buff as well makes the experience a lot more enjoyable. But the reason why it's so low compared to what I'll rank the other ones, in my opinion, is because the trial system wasn't very rewarding. I don't think you could get the ray gun from doing the trials, unlike what you could do with the other maps. So in my opinion, it doesn't make it for a good map comparatively to the other Cold War maps. But it is a solid map. Next up, we have Firebase Z, and this is going to be in the middle tiers of give it a go. It's a half decent map. The Ray K is one of the main positives about the map because it is a good wonder weapon, but in my opinion, it's a meh map. It's very meh. Firebase Z, in my opinion, give it a go if you want to when it comes to Cold War, but it's not a map I'd ever actively recommend. Next up, Kino der Toten. Now, this is a map that is definitely better than Die Maschine in my opinion. I'd say it's in the middle tier of worth the experience, but I will say overall it's an interesting experience and it's quite unique. I like the dark night setting, you know, that really helps the mood a bit. You know, the atmosphere for Mauer is really strong. You can actually feel it quite well, and the wonder weapons and the variants of them as well are great, and they're straightforward to unlock as well. Forsaken, in my opinion, is the best map in Cold War Zombies, purely because of the 115 axe, because this is one of the best wonder weapons I feel like we've ever gotten, and not many people talk about it. I think the map design itself lets it down, considering it is just kind of red light, green light from the campaign, just redone a little bit. But I think people are a little too harsh on the design. It's clearly meant to be a covert ops facility and whatnot. In my opinion, it is definitely worth the experience, and I'd probably put it on towards the higher tiers of worth the experience. Now we move on to BO6, and I know a lot of people might actually be here for this part of the video. If you are wondering whether to buy Black Ops 6 to try out these 4 zombies maps, we can answer these brutally and honestly. Terminus, in my opinion, is a not so good zombies map. It's okay. Captures a decent atmosphere with the night at time and the rainfall and whatnot. The Easter egg is fairly straightforward to do, but it's not a very replayable map. In my opinion, the wonder weapon's really bad. It just doesn't work very well. But honestly, out of these 4 maps, this is probably one of the ones I'd play the least. I'm going to put it on Give It a Go, but actually at the very top of Give It a Go. Liberty Falls, in my opinion, actually is a much better map than Terminus, but I'll explain why. The reason why Liberty Falls, even though it's not as atmospheric and even though it's not as old school zombie style that it is compared to Terminus, is so much better, is because of how casual and replayable it is. You could tell what the design approach was from Treyarch going into this one, that they wanted a map that people could just hop onto, build a wonder weapon fairly easily, and just kick back and play till round 50, 55, longer than that. In my opinion, Liberty Falls is definitely worth the experience, and I'd actually put it towards the higher tiers of worth the experience. I wouldn't say it's a shut up and take my money, purely because I think it's an insult to the likes of Kino and Rev and the other ones to put it that high. Next, we have Citadel Des Morts. Now, I've seen conflicting opinions. I've seen some people say they think this is the best BO6 map, but I've also seen people say, you know, they think it's the worst BO6 map. I'm kind of in the middle. I like the swords and what they were trying to do, but I don't understand why Treyarch have made the wonder weapons this game so weak. Like, just let us have fun with them and let us go as high as we can with them. I think the concept of the 4 swords is absolutely fantastic. Citadel Des Morts, in my opinion, is a lower tier worth the experience. So I'm going to put it just above Die Maschine, but I wouldn't say it's an incredible map by any means. I'd say it's worth the experience if you want to give it a go and you've bought BO6 anyway. It's definitely unique and has a lot of replayability in that sense. Then lastly, before the Shattered Veil comes out, we have the Tomb. Now, in my opinion, the Tomb is amongst the best BO6 maps. I don't really know whether I'd consider it better than Liberty Falls, but I'd say for the eye staff alone, I'd put it up there. I'd actually put the Tomb towards the very top of worth of the experience, just because I think it is a very strong map. I think it's better than Liberty Falls, but I wouldn't have it above the likes of Gorod, Zedzbol, Doris. Absolutely not. Well, there we have it, guys. What do you think of these rankings? Now, the purpose of this video is to hopefully help those who are maybe newer to zombies or haven't tried certain zombies maps yet to understand if they are worth trying and if they are worth playing. And I thought this would be a good video that we could upload on the night the Shattered Veil comes out as a bit of a comprehensive review of what we've had so far. If you guys do agree with these rankings, let me know. But if you disagree as well, it's absolutely fair enough if you do, but I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We've got plenty more zombies content as well. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Take care, lads.